Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason, and today I'm bringing you Aarklash Legacy. Now, Aarklash Legacy is a game for people who are fans of Dota and League of Legends, but absolutely hate the online communities. It's basically a single-player Dota, League of Legends styled game with some WoW sensibilities. For instance, the abundance of female characters with impractical armor. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of that in a bit. So, you know, let's just go ahead to, actually, before I jump into the game, I want to go to the options and point out something here. When we go under video, this is basically all the settings we have. Now, just a note that you need to restart Aarklash Legacy for anything to take into account. I think the only exception to that might be resolution, but if you're tweaking your graphics, yes, it's very annoying that you have to close the game and start it back up every single time. Nice that you got separate sliders for everything, and yeah, let's just go ahead and start the game up so you can go ahead and see. Now, I will be quiet during some points because I do want to draw attention to the voice acting in this game. We'll go ahead and take a look here. So we'll go to New Game and we'll choose, let's see here, Medium, the standard level of difficulty. Enemies may create few problems, and certain situations will require some tactical thinking. Or Easy. The game is actually rather challenging, but I want to be able to show that, you know, I'm just going to stick with Medium for now. And here's our first example right there. I believe what her name is, Nella? Can't remember. I think it's Nella. She's basically a wizard type. But yeah, so, the prologue, collecting one's due, and the patrons bade Dolores unto them. Wheel sword, you have served us well. Will you not stay in service always? By my honor and those of my fellows, we will serve the guild. Always. The Book of Debts. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start the game. Starts off with some story, if I recall correctly.
This is Aarklash. The war between the Dark Lords of Acheron and the Barons of Alahan rages on. To finance the war, the Barons have gone into serious debt with the Goldmongers Guild. Many nobles have fallen behind in their payments, and the guild has sent their wheel swords, expert warriors, and masters in the art of collecting their due. A standard corps of 4 wheel swords finds itself deep in Lion territory when a new war of a very different nature is declared.
Interesting. If you pay attention, you can actually see the black thing, the curtain started
Wheel
going.
swords. Lokshai wants this bauble now. The patrons have authorized deadly force if needed.
Oh, it'll be needed.
Yes, what man in shiny armor doesn't like to show off his big sword?
So, there's another type of force? Other than deadly?
Don't worry about it.
Right. If they so much as look at you funny, kill them. Patron Lokshai wants the relic brought to him before dawn. Everyone clear?
In, out. Snick, snack. No muss, no fuss.
Wheel swords all?
Wheel swords all!
And then we're brought into basically our tutorial. Now, the game does a pretty good job at holding your hand. Basically, you just get your little tips up at the top on how to play it. You did notice that there was, oops, excuse me, I hit my microphone. There's a very awkward pause between when each character talks. And I find the quality between the voice actors varies greatly from character to character. In particular, as we go on, pay attention to Wendaroos. Actually, even the name, like Wheel Swords, I suppose it's alright. Like, it's a unique, it's a different name, but I feel that it's, we'll say personal preference-wise, I find the names for some of the characters are a little bit unimaginative or just kind of stale, or they almost seem like jokes. But anyways, let's go ahead and you can interact with stuff. And, that's what we just did. And we sit here, wait for this little cutscene. The thing disappears.
And here are our lions. Let's take their heads as well.
I also,
Stand down. We are sanctioned by the Goldmongers.
I also kind of get the impression that the characters you play as are a little bit on the evil side, or yeah, they strike me as quite evil. So it does play kind of because it is single player and you are controlling a party. It's obvious you can't control everyone perfectly. So what it does have is it pauses the game for you here and there. So you can actually hit space to toggle. It's kind of like Baldur's Gate if you've played that. So this fight here is pretty simple. So I'm just going to highlight them all and tell them, hey, go kill this guy. And I can select, say, her, and just like I said, a Dota or a League of Legends, you have your different spells abilities here, which are also on hotkeys. Those guys were basically just pathetic, so.
The relic is ours. Let's get out of here.
I hope Patron Lakshai appreciates our efforts.
The bravery of these lion fools was surprising. Attacking wheel swords of the guild.
So, yeah. So escaping the light. So unnerved by the fact that the lion had attacked them in the Mornstar Mains. And with the orb in their care, the troubled wheel swords now must not delay in their return to Goldmonger patrons. They cannot shake the feeling that maybe there was more to this debt than had been revealed. I wanted to say perhaps. It's funny how I wanted to throw a synonym in there. You read one thing, but you want to throw the meaning out. That's... Brains interest me. They're very, very peculiar things in how they work. Alright, now the game... Yes, that's nice.
Standard formation. Don't let them flank us. No,
Alright, so it's more tutorial stuff, so I'm going to talk over the tutorial because it's rather boring stuff.
Petty Lord
But basically, the game is extremely linear. There's basically no exploration. It's basically one fight to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and say, oh yeah, I'll show here. If you really need help, you can click on the different characters, and their little portraits appear up on the top. You can bring down their information, get views of different abilities they have. This is for active, like different spells and stuff they can cast. And this here is for passive abilities. Tells you their resistance to different types of damage. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could actually keep that kind of thing open, but I found that you have to basically, every new fight, you need to we'll say open this tip. So you're going to be doing a lot of pausing in this game. And see, there we go. I had to click on it. It's even within the same fight. If you lose one character dies, you need to reopen up the info panel, which is a little bit of a pain. Now, I believe it's what is it? If you map is the Y button, because you know we want to put that on the M button because that wouldn't make no sense. But I suppose they wanted to put the key up closer to where you know, your hotkeys would be. Actually, that reminds me. Are there rebindable keys? It does look like there are. All right, all is forgiven. As long as you can rebind your keys, we're good. Now, basically, you get this overhead map. You can click and drag to move it around, or you can move it around with the arrows. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually command your group to move from here. So you have to, we'll say, basically just close down the map to begin moving. So it would have been nice, I think, to have a feature where you could, we'll say, just click on the map and go, especially when you start to get some of the larger maps. Yes, it is a linear game, but sometimes they make it kind of twisty and turny, if that's even good English or proper English. Or, you know what, screw it, I'm going to talk like some sort of barbarian. Alright, so I think around here we're going to start needing to use different tactics, different skills. And I'll actually show you what some of them can do. Like, Nella, I believe is her name. Yeah, there we go, Nella. Basically, she's got a celestial blow thing, which is basically just calling lightning down and striking people. She can basically knock down anyone that's around her. So if she gets surrounded by enemies, she uses her ability to knock down everything around her so she can escape. And those two abilities have not yet been unlocked. You don't get those until later on. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what they are. I think that one actually might be a healing spell, but I'm not 100%. Wenderu's got, tends to focus on sort of healing abilities. And this is your tank. It very much so follows the tank DPS kind of setup. This is your tank, this is your primary healer, and these are basically your DPS. A rogue, a mage, this is your sword tank person, and this here is your really weird, I would say almost druid-like kind of healer, but the characters are unique in their design, and you'll see in a bit. So let's actually start by, I want to drop that, that mage. Now, oh, I ran him into the fireball. So you saw there was a bit of a casting time. So I knew the mage was about to fire a fireball, and I didn't move Denzel out of the way in time. So we'll just focus down the mage, because the mage is the biggest damage dealer. Now this one here, you got to be careful with her heals, because it can heal enemies. So you actually have to move sort of line of sight to heal it. So I'll go ahead and heal up Naka here. Or I queue it up because it wasn't available yet, which is actually kind of nice. So while you guys are like...
Knights of the light. They fight like cowards, attacking without good reason.
If Lord Mornstar
I'm sorry.
sent troops to kill us,
The voice actor for Wenderu is not my favorite, so I just wanted to... I don't know, I hear it and it makes me feel like some sort of, some furry anime kind of fan fiction kind of voice acting. I don't know how to describe it.
Star is a fool. The Goldmonder Guild will bleed his house dry for attacking a wheel sword sanctioned corps. The treasure in the crypt was ours to claim. He should have paid his debts.
This has gone beyond.
I don't know. Maybe it's a personal preference. It doesn't strike me as bad now. Maybe it was just my initial reaction. I don't know. Maybe you're feeling, oh, he was right, and I'm kind of having second thoughts. But, anyways, so what we've got here is an item that dropped on the ground after defeating the enemies. So what I'm going to do is this is a good time for me to back away from where the enemies fell, and then right-click on the item. And it enters our inventory. So, as we can clearly see, proximity has absolutely nothing to do with picking up items in this game. So, if you kill something and you end up on the other side of the map, it's okay. Just move your mouse over, find where you killed the thing, right-click, and you'll pick up all the items. So, speaking of items, it brings me to my point about the impractical female wear. Here we have it looks like a belt over the nipples. Here we've got... Yeah, okay. Yeah. And here we've got, oh, metal bra. Awesome. And then this guy here, he's kind of cool looking, but evil. I don't know. The outfits to me seem very outlandish and just... And there's other characters later in the game, too. That I'm just like, come on, people! Why is it that only guys have sensible armor? Anyways, another gripe. So we have a amulet that increases dodge. I'm going to actually give this to my tank. I don't know if that's a smart thing, but to me, the tank is the one that's going to be facing off most of the attacks. So if she can dodge, it'll take some stress off the healer. So we'll go ahead and just right-click that, and it goes into one of the different skill slots. Now, you don't actually equip armor or anything. It's mostly the equipment in this game. Your characters can only be customized in this game using the various trinkets, like amulets, rings, earrings, and relics. And you have a breakdown here of the each different skill. Well, not skill, sorry. Your stats. And these actually do play a role in the game. Like, right now it's pretty self-explanatory. You're basically taking on what I would consider, you know, the equivalent of creeps, you know, just sort of minions here. But once the, we'll say the game gets going and you start getting the skill tree and such, I find things tend to get quite a bit more in-depth. It is a very in-depth game. Right now it's still, you know, it's babying me, which I'm not a fan of. Like, I get why. Like, the first time I played through, I was thankful. So that's not me saying, oh my goodness, stop holding my hand. It would have been nice to be able to, you know, skip the tutorial or have the option to. But for this game and how in-depth it is, I absolutely feel that a tutorial is a good idea. So I'm going to use the taunt. Wait, actually I want to see who's targeting who. So if I mouse over this swordsman, you notice there's a green glow under Naka? Yeah. It's showing that this guy is targeting her. And he is targeting her. And he is... Wait, that's my own character. Ah, the archer is targeting Denzel, my rogue guy. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to... because the game was so nice to pause for me as soon as an encounter starts, you just basically, I'm going to go ahead and use my taunt on the archer. Then I'm going to use my celestial blow on the archer, and then let's use cutthroat on the archer. Let's just drop the archer. And I'm going to move, I hate the name, Wendaru, around into position to provide whatever healing may be needed. Okay, so I know. Stop telling me.
I heal your wounds.
All right, so let's go ahead and focus fire this guy down. I don't need escape right now. Let's. Now I just I just initialed. Yes, I just initialed. I just initiated Hysteria of the God Rat by the Rogue, which basically, as you can see, increases 30% of his speed of attack by 30% of his physical armor. So if you increase his physical armor, you can get him attacking really quick. So let's go ahead and assign this ring to somebody. HP max, let's give it to our tank as well. And carry on. Alright, so I'm going to try to zoom through these earlier parts. I gotta say, yes, it's linear, and there is no rotating camera. So these are basically just 2D backgrounds with some 3D on them. But I've got to say, I am actually a big fan of the art. I find the art is actually rather fantastic. So good on them. Now there are there's quick keys for actually mostly everything. So you can do a lot of stuff with just your keyboard. So even if you have everyone selected, if you're hitting tab, it toggles through the active move through the active character. I didn't actually even notice that there was a mage still there. That's what it was. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's drop the mage because I feel like that's probably the biggest threat right now. Owned. And there we go. Now, every once in a while, after you beat certain enemies or if you fight certain bosses, there'll be chests left behind. So you can go ahead and... Those do require proximity. So I had to walk over there and I get some various colored items to choose from here. So blue, from what I understand, is... You know, it's rare and... well, as you can see it right there on the screen. Blue is magic and then the gold is rarer. So, it's obviously better. So let's take a look. Physical armor and physical damage. You know, I'm actually going to give that to my rogue. Why not? And this one here is magic armor, HP max, and dodge. Once again, I feel like... Oh, do I already have a necklace? Yeah, but it's better, I think, on there. So, and we'll throw that on her. And do I have anything else? Yes, I do. I have magic armor as earrings. And a relic, healing done, HP max. Yeah, so this I'm going to probably want to put on my healer. There we go. Oh, and my character's leveled up. So, when they level up, we'll go ahead and take a look at... Stuff is still locked, so I don't believe I can access it. No. Level 1. He's level 2. No, I think you have to get to, like, level 4 or so before you can... 4 or 5 before you can actually start messing around with the skill trees. So you can actually see here, this guy here, he leveled up, Denzel, so we've actually got Magic Theft, which is a new ability. So I guess by level 3 or so, maybe I was right the first time. Level 3, you actually unlock all of your abilities.
Let us move on.
So Magic Theft will basically removes the increase effects which affect his target. So basically, if there are any buffs on the target, he will be able to remove them. Which there's actually a pretty cheap, I won't say cheap, it's I guess it's part of the puzzle of the game, if you will, boss that if they have any buffs, they can basically insta-kill you. So you have to be able to notice when they're going to use their insta-kill ability and use him to quickly remove the buffs before fighting them. So F5 to quick save, and believe me, you'll need to use that.
Wheel swords. Lay down your weapons. Return her to me, and I'll spare your wretched lives.
You are in breach of contract with the Goldmongers Guild, Lord Mornstar. We are in our rights to recover what is ours from your estate.
His soldiers are moving to surround us. They're going to attack.
We cannot lay our weapons down, even if we so wanted. We are wheel swords, bound by blood contract to the Guild. The relic is confiscated. Take up your complaints with our patrons.
I see no patrons here. Insolent curs. These are my lands. Kill them. Kill them all.
Alright, so then it goes ahead and auto-saves for us again. So I'm actually going to look, I can't remember exactly what his abilities were. He inflicts physical damage. He taunts his target. And I think this is the one we have to pay attention to. Puts one knee to the ground, and after 2 seconds of incantation time, he self-immunizes against all types of damage, and blasts his allies within 10 meters. And it also regenerates HP for allies. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to drop his henchmen first. So I'm going to tell them all to attack, and while we're still paused, I'm going to go ahead and assign attacks here. If you actually hold down Shift, you can queue up future attacks. So say I wanted to use Escape, and then move, and then cast Celestial Blow on something. I could basically choose Escape, then Shift-click where I wanted her to move, and then I could also Shift-click Celestial Blow onto the opponent, and that way there you could have multiple actions carried out. Right now, I don't need anything that fancy, so I'm just going to go ahead and get her to do her Celestial Blow thing. Yeah, you just attack, and you take up position behind our tank. Now, I'm going to pause. I'm going to choose her and use Plasmic Scalia. Basically, it boosts her physical and magic armor for 15 seconds, which is pretty good. Yes, and now it's telling me, oh, you need to remove the buff from the guy. Well, I can't. Guy doesn't have enough SP, so we'll just take out his swordsman. Keep the heals up. So, like I said, it plays kind of like a mix between Dota and World of Warcraft. There's a lot of positioning. Actually, I should have probably used that. There we go. A lot to do with positioning, a lot of healing, the tanking.
No pride has the little man. Just like a lord to flee when a battle is lost.
I don't like this. Even Mornstar is not stupid enough to believe he can take...
And those little cutscenes, though, it is nice that they are skippable. Which is nice, you know, if you want to just rush through the game. And like I said, the tutorial is actually very well crafted. in that it teaches you how to do everything. So yeah, that's pretty good. Just a minute. Sorry about the interruption there. Basically, all they did was walk over and they see this lesser chimera. So, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this thing on it and have her run in. Initial attacks. I could use the
Not this time.
I could have basically just used the hotkeys, but I chose not to for whatever reason. Heal up, come on.
Tremble.
Man, the first time I fought this thing, I totally just got wrecked. But I guess that's part of the game. Once you sort of learn what to do, you can well, you get better at it. It is a I would say it's a somewhat of a skill-based game. You can't just right-click on things and say, okay, it's dead. No, there definitely needs to be a strategy and a plan. Otherwise, yeah, you're just basically going to be screwed. So HP max, you don't have an... Oh, you did. Okay, so... ring. Multi-critical hit. Sounds good for a rogue. You don't have, like, anything. Magic damage. Let's go with that one. Earrings. Mana regeneration. Yeah, we'll go with that. Earrings. I think we got... sure. I guess he doesn't have magic, but it's better to get the other effects on him. Alright, so we're all healed up and good to go. So what I'm going to do, because this is basically pretty much the whole game. There are some very, we'll say, challenging sections that you're definitely going to be loading, and you have to look at what the enemy's abilities are. It's almost like you're playing a game of like Magic the Gathering kind of thing. You know, each card and each ability is its own unique thing. So there's that level of strategy as well. But so I feel like what I've shown has basically it's basically demonstrated the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm not paying attention at this point. What am I doing? I'm going to die now because I was just being stupid. Oh, great. Yeah, I knocked down my tank. Good job, me.
Be healed, friend.
Alright, so, yeah, I'm... Oh, okay, so here's basically my buddy had fallen. So I can actually take this character out of combat for a bit to pick him back up. And that's how you basically get your guys back. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to lose this one. It was close, though, because I was doing some really stupid things. But as you can see, the thing does ramp up, and eventually it gets to the point where if you don't go in with a plan, you are basically going to get toasted. Something to that effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and pause my recording for now, and I'm going to get to a point where I can actually show off the skill trees, because right now it's grayed out, and it's bothering me because I want to be able to show off how the skill trees look. So I'll be back. Alright, so I've just gone through a bunch of fighting. I've actually come to a new area, and I've actually just unlocked the skill tree, so I want to be able to finally show you that. Group management is there as well, but it's mostly just swapping out party members, because you can only have 4 in your team at once. So we'll take a look at Nella's skill tree first. So basically, you got Celestial Blow, and what happens is each one of your skills can sort of advance and branch off onto 2 different paths. And then eventually at the end, you can also, each of those paths also have an additional 2 paths they can go out to. So I find Celestial Blow is the most useful. It's your straight up damage, right? So, as it is right now, she, has her incantation time of 2 seconds, and then she inflicts between 350 and 450 damage. So, as you can see here, the next stage up is 450 to 550. So it's a lot like your typical, like I said, Dota, League of Legends styled advancement for your skills. But actually, I'm not sure about Dota. I know that for sure League of Legends, but this one here actually has branching, so you actually have a little bit more customization with your character here. I'm actually going to increase his cutthroat. Done with the right click. And the self-healing is good, but I think we need to... I want to increase the armor bonus. And I can believe I can... Yeah. Then I'll move to having it last longer. And let's see here. Star of Vitality. Now, eventually what's nice is that I believe it's down like this tree here. For example, the healing, like I said, it can heal enemies as well. But if I recall correctly, one of these paths, yeah, reduces healing received by the enemy hit. So there's some of the abilities might have a real negative to them, but that can be counteracted down the line with we'll say one of the branching abilities. Sacred Feast. Yeah, basically you take 200 HP from an ally, and then you get 50 MP back with this character. It's actually useful. So like maybe my earlier statement about it being druidish was more based on the color than the actual skill set. It's kind of like a cross between a druid and almost a warlock. But I don't find I find the characters are actually well designed in that they don't all fall into nice, neat little packages to what we're used to from those types of games. So I'm going to go ahead with, let's see, implants a grain into the body of an enemy, explodes and restores to all allies within form. Yeah, this is actually not bad for helping to heal. I actually like that one, so let's actually upgrade that. Leech grain, sorry. So yeah, that's that. Now, one other thing I realized as I was playing is that I find when you want to skip a cutscene, you can't just by clicking the mouse buttons. I found I had to hit the escape button first and then hit basically right click. So it's skippable, but if you have a hard time skipping, try hitting escape first and then hitting your mouse button. I don't know why it's set up like that, but it is. So now that we've gone ahead and set up our skill tree, let's go ahead and save. Oh, that's another thing. The skill trees are not permanent. If I recall correctly, you can reestablish all your skill points. So as long as you're not in combat, you can tinker around and experiment with your skill trees. So that's good. If you know you're coming into a certain fight, you can actually temporarily change up your spec for that one fight and then change afterwards. So that's actually really nice. Overall, I find the UI is really nice. A lot of information, a lot of good shortcut keys, and the character, like the design and the mechanics, actually I find very, actually rather entertaining. I find they're actually really good. And I'm actually gonna go. I believe there's a boss here. I'm gonna summon the boss, and show you that as sort of the closing segment. But overall, I find the game, like my opinions on the game is actually it's very good. The story and we'll say the world design feels a little bit, I don't know. I like that it's unique. It at the same time though, there's a certain quality I can't put my finger on that makes me kind of not crazy about it. But for me, gameplay is king, and Aarklash Legacy, the gameplay is phenomenal. It's actually really good, and especially for somebody like me who is not a big, we'll say, a big fan of multiplayer games. Like, no, sorry, that's not true. I love multiplayer games, but I like having single-player games as well. And to me, this provides that sort of same Dota kind of experience for those of us who sometimes don't want to go online, who just want to have a nice, single-player game to fool around with. All right, so we're going to get totally wrecked here. I actually remember fighting this thing. The Elemental of Light is actually rather tough. So I'm not expecting to win this one, but I figured it would be a nice example of a boss character. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. Forgetting what my hotkeys are. And we're doomed.
My name is Denver. Shall I write it on your skin?
Okay, these things keep healing her, but I can't take these things out in time because... I think I might have already failed. Okay. No, keep fighting. I just wanted you. Move down here. Heal. Armor up. Heal yourself. You interrupt her. Which one is the interruption? Yeah, I'm trying to remember the different abilities on the fly here.
That hurt more than it should have.
All right, one character's down. Yeah, my tank's gone, so... yeah. And basically what happens is if you try to kill one of these things are actually rather tough. Let's see, 800 health. Wait in the shadows before engaging in combat. And I find once you take them down, she just basically spawns new ones. Only 50. It decides as a defense to drain all the health from its sparklings. By casting this skill, the element enrages itself and permanently increases by... yeah.
Losing it.
Little cuts. You need to try harder.
So, there we go. I'm toast. And, that's that. Game over. Loading's nice and quick, though, so that's not bad. Well, overall, I would recommend it. It's a very solid game. I was showing it off. I wasn't playing the absolute best, but there's a lot of thought in there, and it's... yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I really like this game. I think you should check it out. It's Aarklash Legacy. I picked my copy up on GOG.com. I believe it may also be on Steam. Yes, actually, it is on Steam. So yeah, if that's the type of game that interests you, and maybe you say you wanted that single-player experience, you want something that makes you think a little bit more. It's not a your typical like Diablo-style hack and slash RPG, just mindless slaughter. You actually have to really plan out your attacks because even this boss here is it's actually we'll say easier than some of the other ones that come later in the game. So there's a definite level of challenge and a sense of accomplishment that comes from it, beating them. So yeah, I think I've ranted on long enough. This has been my quick glance at Aarklash Legacy, and yeah, until next time, game on.